Overseas now, new and scattered pieces in the complex Middle East puzzle. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton now criticizing Israel's plans to settle parts of East Jerusalem and the West Bank. The move to build more than 3,000 homes would essentially cut the West Bank in half. Clinton reiterated U.S. support for Israel, but condemned the move.
Let me reiterate that this administration, like previous administrations, has been very clear with Israel that these activities set back the cause of a negotiated peace. We all need to work together to find a path forward in negotiations that can finally deliver on a two-state solution.
Well, the Israeli announcement comes hours after the UN voted overwhelmingly to grant Palestine a non-member observer status. John Ray from our British broadcasting partner ITN is live for us in Tel Aviv. So, John, with a good day to you. First up, what is the effect of the settlement announcement? And will Israel really move forward with these plans?
Well, you could really hear and see and feel the frustration in Hillary Clinton's words there, couldn't you? The reason is because if there are people who still believe in the meaningful prospect of peace settlement, these have been a very depressing couple of days here. The UN votes in favour of the Palestinian status upgrade, and then this counter-measure from the Israelis. Let me be clear about this. This comes in two chunks. First of all, the 3,000 homes the Israelis say they will now build, that will come within existing settlements on the occupied West Bank and possibly extending some of those settlements. It'll also be within the Arab East part of Jerusalem, again extending existing settlements. But the really controversial plan that the Israelis has is to speed up plans to develop a land known as E1. It's 5 square miles of dusty hillside, but it is crucially important because if they do go ahead and build on that land, they will effectively split the West Bank in half, north and south. And the West Bank is a land earmarked for a Palestinian state, and it will simply not be viable. If the Israelis go ahead with that, peace activists here on the Israeli side have said that pretty much is a deal breaker. It's like a fatal heart attack to the whole idea of a two-state solution. To my mind, that is a threat the Israelis are making, a very real threat. But I think it's also a negotiating chip, a marker, the kind of thing that they might want to talk about if negotiations do resume.
Yeah. So, John, reaction from citizens on both sides, what's that been like?
Well, on the Israeli side, even from people who represent the settler community, some 500,000 Israelis who live within eastern Jerusalem and the West Bank, of course, they're delighted the news of new settlements are coming, but they are frankly surprised by the timing. One saying that, well, you know, we like the new settlements, but the timing seems to be going out of its way to alienate even our few remaining friends in the international community, most notably, of course, America. On the Palestinian side, predictable outrage. They call it a very provocative gesture. They're saying it shows what they're trying to do, going to the United Nations for recognition, is desperately trying to preserve the last remnant of hope in the two-state solution. They're saying that the Israelis are pretty much sabotaging that plan.
But the fact that the UN changed the status from observer entity to observer state, I mean, it's that word state that makes all the difference, right?
Sure, yeah, and it is more than symbolic. For example, this weekend, what was the Palestinian Authority is changing its letterheads to put the word Palestine on its emails and its letterheads, that kind of thing. But beyond the symbolism, it doesn't really change any of the facts on the ground. It doesn't do away with the Israeli checkpoints, the Israeli soldiers, or the settlements. What it did do, I think, was for the Palestinians was to show that the tide of international opinion is working in their direction. They won that vote by an absolutely massive majority. The Israelis found themselves in a minority of 9, as well as the United States and Canada, nations that do matter. They were left with the likes of Micronesia supporting them. I think the real danger for the Israelis in this settlement move now is that they alienate the few friends they do have left and find themselves further isolated. Yeah,
those numbers, 138 voted for, only 9 against, 41 abstentions. So you make that point very well for us. All right, John Ray, thank you so much.